Hello there, people of the internet. I have a concussion, and today we are here to talk about this stuff right here. This specifically is Turkish Ammunition. In this particular case, it is, un momento por favor, I hear Kevin somewhere in the distance. 8mm Mauser Turkish Ammunition. I've made several videos that kind of talked about this ammunition, but I haven't really made a video specifically on Turkish Ammunition. And I have people asking about it, so I figured I'd go ahead and make, a video dedicated specifically to Turkish Ammunition in the gun collecting community. Now, a lot of this surplus ammunition is not very expensive, and there's typically good reason for that. A lot of it tends to be unreliable, meaning duds and hang fires. I seem to have gotten the batch that I have. It seems to be an alright batch. I'm only getting occasional dud. No hang fires as of yet, but only the occasional dud. Besides that, for the most part, they tend to go bang every time you pull the trigger. But the main reason why people try to steer away from this Turkish ammunition is because the way this ammunition was stored, whenever it goes off, it burns at way higher pressures than 8mm Mauser ammunition was originally intended to burn at. So this Turkish ammunition is burning at way higher pressures than what the gun is supposed to be able to handle. A lot of your bolt-action rifle designs, like this one right here, this is my Kar 98, finally got around to putting a butt pad on it. This is actually my Kar 98 that was sporterized. I went ahead and I put it inside the stock of the one that I had refurbished. This way we have a time period correct rifle inside of a time period correct stock, and we actually have a proper Kar 98 setup here now. But bolt action rifles like this are capable of handling way higher pressures than something like a semi-auto or full auto or whatever it is that you're running. Just the locking systems and how the locking system does not come undone from any sort of gas pressure is one of the things that makes these rifles capable of withstanding such tremendously high pressures. If you have a semi-automatic like a Hakim or something, and you're firing that thing bang bang bang, every time you pull that trigger, you're going to have the gas pressure come up through whatever gas system it is and whatever platform it is that you're using. It's going to come up, and that is what is going to be used to cycle the firearm. Well, if the gas pressure is way higher than it's supposed to be, that firearm's going to cycle way harder and way sooner than it's supposed to actually cycle. And a lot of times the pressure inside the barrel itself will not have dropped down to safe pressures for that system to unlock. But the pressures are so high that the system unlocks anyway, and you have the system opening up with high pressures in the barrel still, and it blows out the back of the cartridge, and you have hot gas everywhere, and it's, ruptured cases are never fun. And you have a catastrophic failure of the firearm. The firearm may potentially explode depending on how much pressure is inside of that unlocking system. I have known people that have actually gotten hurt from high pressure rounds. Scott from Kentucky Ballistic, he was firing a he was firing a what seemed to be spec cartridge. It was a slap round, but it seemed to be to spec, but unfortunately it fired at extremely high pressures, and it was so high that the firearm failed. That was a single shot, and those tend to be way more forgiving at higher pressures than any sort of semi or full automatic system that operates off of gas. But I digress. If you are going to run this 8mm Mauser ammunition, like I fully plan on doing today, you definitely, absolutely want to run it through a bolt action, because this ammo, like I said, burns very hot. In a bolt action, that system stays closed, no matter how high the pressure is, unless something physically breaks on the gun. But something is way less likely to break if the gun is locked up. Whenever guns start unlocking prematurely, and they're in configurations that are not designed to handle these extremely high pressures, that's where you start to get extreme levels of dangerous amounts of parts breakage. Alright, I was gonna load a couple of rounds and start shooting, but my gun range in this direction is not currently usable since we have people working out there, but I do have a temporary gun range in that direction, so I'm going to go ahead and load some of this up and start firing. I want to talk about Turkish 30-06 because that is also on the market now. I would not recommend running that in your M1 Garands or Garands, however it is you feel like pronouncing that rifle. I would not recommend running that in your M1 platform. I've done it, but I have had several people tell me that they've had ruptured cases and it split the stock in a Garand/Garand, like I said, however it is that you want to pronounce it. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Kevin's my peacock. I got 4 of them. Welcome to the channel if you haven't seen them yet. But the Turkish 30-06 is notorious for splitting brass and blowing out the back of the cartridge, and it is just a bad day for your Garand or Garand, your M1 rifle. It's a bad day for your M1 rifle if that ends up happening. Whenever I ran the ammunition through my Garand, I had an adjustable gas system, and I checked the amount of pressure that was in the round based off of the adjustments on the gas system and what it took to actually ran it. And it seems to be operating at normal M2 ball ammunition pressures because that's what I had it set at for the gas system to run standard regular mil-spec ammunition through my Garand. However, I believe the brass itself has some sort of issue. Perhaps it wasn't, molded properly, or perhaps there were some deficiencies with it. I mean, there's obviously some sort of deficiency with it. They tend to split. But I believe that the brass itself is not of usable quality or reliable quality. I wouldn't feel so bad about running it through a bolt-action rifle, but I would not run that stuff through any sort of semi-automatic either. Typically, if it is Turkish ammunition, I would recommend steering away from any sort of automatic platform and just putting this stuff specifically through bolt-action designs. Okay, that being said, let me go grab my camera stand, and I got my ears right here. Can't come out to the range and not blast some rounds. Okay, I will say that the Turkish 8mm Mauser ammunition is typically corrosive, whereas your Turkish 30-06 typically is not. Now, the extractor on this thing was a little on the weak side, so I actually replaced the extractor, and this is me testing it to see how well this extractor works. I do apologize in advance if the angle on this camera is a little off. I'm still trying to learn this new gun range, so hopefully... Alright, if I stand right here, you guys should be able to see me putting rounds on target. Right here, okay. Let's go ahead and run a couple of rounds through the Soul Girl. Hey! Well, no dud. Let's try it again. Every time I hit the steel with one of these high power rounds, I could feel the shock wave in the air. Kablamski. I also see little pieces of like dirt and debris flying off from the trees that thing is underneath. Haha! Alright. Man, that was a good time. You know, I actually don't know this. Let me check this real quick. If this is the case, then that would be really sweet. Hold on. I have a lot of Egyptian and Ethiopian ammunition, 8mm Mauser ammunition that's basically garbage, but it would make good components. This is Burdan primed. Darn, I mean, I could reload that brass, but Burdan prime reloading is way more difficult than boxer primed. I could use the hydraulic method. People always tell me about that, but oh well. Alright, just for fun, let's go ahead and get us a different angle on here. Looks like my extractor is working pretty well on this rifle. This right here is an actual Mauser extractor. The one that was on it before was an aftermarket extractor that I kind of rigged up to fit. But this is the real deal. Alright, different angle. Good, fire off a couple of rounds here. We were at like 50 yards and hitting about a foot high with this stuff. So now that we're back here, probably about 100, let's see where we hit. I think I hit it. I see some smoke down there, so I'm going to assume I hit it. I will say, yeah, I think I'm hitting it. I'm not positive about that though. Let me wander down there, see where I'm hitting. I might still be going over the target. I will say this aluminum butt pad right here, I kind of prefer having just the wood. Like, I didn't have this aluminum butt pad here for the longest time. I prefer just the wood because, man, that thing slides around. All right, well, good news, bad news, I guess. Yeah. Well, my rounds were hitting where I wanted them to hit. But unfortunately, and I really don't believe in doing this, but unfortunately, it looks like I won't be able to finish this magazine. While I was down there checking on my target, the herd of cows that is kept out in the field saw me, and they decided to come up right to me. So now I have cows in that area of that field just staring me down, and they refuse to move. Well, I'm not about to go shoot some poor farmer's cow. I wonder how many 8mm Mauser rounds have killed cows before. I bet a pretty substantial amount. But I will not be one who makes that happen as well. Good news, they're hitting right where I wanted them to hit, and I still got to relay the information that I wanted to relay. I guess I didn't really manage to get any real cool bee footage, B-roll in this. Actually, I could probably still pull something like that off. I'll probably do like shots of the gun and ammo, and I'll figure something out. Damn, this is corrosive ammo. I gotta clean my rifle after only firing 7 shots. I'm going home with a... Thank you, Kevin! At least we had Kevin to support us. I'm going home with a partially filled clip, and I just don't believe in doing that. Oh well. It is what it is. Still better than having no solution for the gun range, but that right there is why I don't shoot in that direction. I've always shot in the direction of the car because there's cows out there and I'm not about to risk hitting a cow. Oh look, they're migrating. We might have something going on yet. Now they're going in that direction. Well, let's just stand around twiddling our thumbs for the next 10 minutes or so and see where they're at. Okay, well the cows have wandered in that direction, so I actually changed my angle and I'm going to be shooting in this direction, just so anything that might ricochet or goes anywhere goes in that direction, way far away from those cows. So I have the 3 rounds that I was gonna go home with. Let's put these back into the rifle here. Damn, I tell you what, these Turkish stripper clips, not really that good, gotta say. 3 out of 10 stars. Alright, let's send some rounds. Unfortunately, the sun is right in my face at this spot, but I'd rather have sun in my face than hit a cow. Ah, I nailed the steel. Very nice. The cows seem to be attracted to gunfire. I see them all looking in this direction now. And unfortunately, I'm offhand shooting this, so I bet my group down there is not going to be great. Ah, I smacked it right in the center. I could see where I hit that one. All right, so that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. You know what? Just because I pulled this clip out, so let's go ahead and run a few more rounds out of this thing. There we go. See, was that so hard, stripper clip? Well, I guess the other one did only have 3 rounds in it. You guys know what love bugs are? These guys are all around here in the state of Florida several times a year. And they are annoying because they're acidic. Whenever you hit them with your car, they eat away at the paint. Very irritating, and they are absolutely everywhere. I hit the microwave on that one. With the way I'm angled, the microwave is actually covering the steel a little bit, so we're gonna hit the microwave a couple of times here. I heard that one. That was definitely a steel shot. I love whenever I hit the steel and you can just hear the shock wave echo throughout the distance. It doesn't really sound like you're hitting steel, but boy oh boy, it sure sounds like you're hitting something. Oh, that one was low. Yep, there we go. That was a steel shot. I'm trying to aim low just to make sure that we got nothing ricocheting if something comes out and I want it to go into the ground. And the way I have the steel angled, I think that we're going to do exactly that. Oh, I almost knocked down the steel on that one. Alright, well there we go. A couple of Turkish rounds. Offhand shooting. We're still roughly at 100 yards or so. I just kind of changed angle. I wish I had some kind of cover out here. Oh, I'm going to see if I can find one of those big sun hats. That would really come in handy for out here. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I ran some rounds on camera. God, there's a love bug on my camera. Come here. Come here, you little bastard. But I ran some of this Turkish ammunition on camera, so it does in fact work. Had a couple of minute hang fires there, nothing real serious. But Turkish ammunition through a bolt action, and if you're running, you know, any sort of 8mm Mauser rifle, odds are it's going to be some sort of bolt action. Semi-auto 8mm Mauser rifles are not near as common as bolt action rifles. So as long as it's through a bolt action system, you're going to be fine with this stuff. I just, like I said, I don't recommend running it through any sort of semi-auto or full auto, any sort of automatic system, just because it runs at higher pressures. But there's no way you're cycling that bolt fast enough to have those higher pressures matter. If you manage to pull that off, the only man I could see pulling that off is Jerry Mitchell. But if you manage to pull that off, I would be very, very impressed. Now, let me know what you guys' thoughts are down below. I wanted to go ahead and just make a video talking about this Turkish ammunition. The cows have started migrating back in this direction since I started shooting again. I'm getting the feeling that they're going to be attracted to gunfire, and as I shoot, I'll have to like shoot intermittently to avoid hitting cows. My gun range. This is my actual gun range, and I used to not have to worry about dealing with cows, and I will eventually get to the point to where I can shoot this stuff again. But anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are down below. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'm gonna just keep working with what I have to work with, and we're gonna make it work. Where there's a will, there's a way. I am standing in an ant pile. Are you guys, is this ant pile live? I don't see any ants, thank God. That would have been awful, guys. That would have been terrible. I wish I could shoot this car. I mean, I could use like shotgun rounds or handguns or stuff that I'm not concerned about going off in that direction, but like full power rifle cartridges, that's not going to happen. Even intermediate rifle cartridges, I still wouldn't risk it. But yeah, you guys see what I'm working with here. Thanks for watching, folks. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. The description down below has a link to all sorts of stuff. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.